Well, it's good to be alive.
What a night it's been.
Do we have a story for you guys? Episode 102. Coming to you directly. Enjoy. What's up, David?
You know, just my life flashing before my eyes.
Yeah, welcome everybody to the show. Thank you for tuning in. We live so you can have joy.
And we go on adventures.
We go to adventures.
And sometimes those adventures don't go the way you think they should.
Sometimes you got to keep going on adventures to have stories.
That's true. And we went on an adventure and now we have a story.
They say to have a good podcast, you need to live, and do stuff and, do stuff with your podcast friends.
We're just podcast friends?
Well, it just creates good conversation. Right?
Is that what we've become? Yeah, just podcast friends?
So, why don't you, you're a good storyteller.
Okay.
Why don't we get into what just happened near 15 minutes ago?
All right. So, Cameron and I, we sat down to record this episode.
Yeah. My wife is in New Jersey visiting with her family.
And
so it's just me in the house.
When I say we were committed to recording, I mean I had already hit record on the phone to record the video. And Cameron goes,
so we sit down, put the headphones on our head, and then I go,
"Hey, dude, do you want to get Dairy Queen?" And I go, "Dairy Queen's a pretty good idea."
So at 9:30,
we
saunter out.
We jump in my car. We go my vehicular. We roll over to the Dairy Queen, and we make our order. And the lady said it was like $10 and some change. Cameron said, "I got this one." So he hands me 20 because he's a baller. And I go, "Well, I got some change down here in the cup holder, so I'll just fish the change out." Now, those of you who have ever gone through a drive-thru, you don't really worry about car accidents when you're parked in a drive-thru.
Yeah. I've never. Yeah.
But now I always will. So we make our orders. I'm fishing for some change, and we're not close to the guy in front of us.
Solid 6 to 10 feet.
For sure. He's up there at the window, and I'm fishing change out, and Cameron just starts going, David, the car's moving, David. And he reaches over and slaps the horn hard enough to injure his wrist.
My hand is sore, and there's a bruise on my hand.
Like, he hit it hard, and I look up just in time to see this car in reverse just back into us.
Yes. Boom, boom.
And it
felt like a good slap.
And it sounded worse.
I was like, front end totally dented.
Gone.
I could envision it in my
radiator exploded. It was just...
I was like, yep.
It just wasn't... It was not good. It was not good. So my heart sank, and I was like...
I said, "Are you serious? Are you kidding?" I was like, "Are you kidding?"
So the guy gets out of the car in front of us and goes, "Hey, sorry, this is a rental." Like, I'm supposed to know what that excuse means. By the way, 9:30 at night, he's wearing sunglasses.
Yes, and a San Francisco 49ers hat.
Yep. And he goes, "Sorry, this is a rental." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't even know what that means." And he's talking, and I don't even know what he's saying at first because I'm just...
He was like freaked out because it was a rental. He's like, "Oh, no, I can't afford this right now."
Yeah, I wasn't listening to a single word he said because I'm just looking at my car to see if there's any damage to the car. So, then like a kid jumped out of the car or something like that. So I'm like looking to make sure there's no damage to the car.
No, we were looking to see the damage.
That's true. We were looking to see how bad the damage was.
Could not believe that there's no damage.
Yeah, dude, our car was touched by an angel. There's no scratches on his rental car. There was no damage to our car. It looked completely fine. Like nothing had happened. But he was telling us that he's like, oh, I got one of those new cars where it's not like a shifter. You just push a button. And he said he thought he pushed the button to put it in park, but he put it in reverse. To which I'm thinking, but how do you not feel your car moving?
Dude, I saw him move past the window. Like, he was in front of the window, and I thought he was backing up to get lined up with the window and just kept coming back. But what did save us, and I thank God for this, he said, dude, I'm so thankful you hit the horn, because he didn't even know he was moving.
Yeah.
And when he heard the horn, he hit
slammed on the brake. Yeah.
I can't believe the thing wasn't... I mean, there's like a scratch.
Yeah, like it's not even a scratch. The light, like the vanity plate, the license plate in the front, it's like got like a dent on the side of it. Like it's nothing. But I was like, dude, what in the world? Who does that?
I've never experienced that. And how do you explain that to the cops?
Right.
Cops wouldn't have been called. We just swap insurance or whatever. But
for sure.
But
I mean, the Dairy Queen probably had like a camera. I've been like, yeah, this guy clearly backed into. And then the cops would, why are you wearing sunglasses at 9:30 at night?
And then he had us. He goes, look at my car. Is it okay?
Yeah, he had us check the car. He goes, you guys can see better than me. Is my car okay?
Is it okay? And he has his teenage son there.
Yeah.
Me and David are looking at his car, and I'm like, respectfully, you should buy her a Dairy Queen.
Yeah, bro.
Literally, I almost said that. I'm like, so we straight here if you get our ice cream?
Yeah, bro. Hey, spot me $10 and we'll call it even. That dude, what?
My heart sank because it's one of those things. It's like going out at 9:30 is like probably should just stay home.
For sure. Yeah.
But there's I've done that 100 times.
But I got these bad influences who are talking me into going to Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen. And we're feasting on it now.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I was like, of course, we get hit. I tell David, let's go. His car, drive through. And I get him in a wreck.
You're the worst.
At least I hit the horn.
You did hit the horn. You sacrificed your wrist for it.
Fight or flight, baby. I don't freeze.
Dude, because I was counting change. I was not looking up at all.
Know. Dude, I saw it and I was like, David, he's moving.
Dude, I would not have known until he hit the car. It didn't even register. You were like, the car's moving. And I was like, what is this? What is he even talking about? And then you just slammed on the horn, and I was like, wow. Wow.
You were just sitting there doing your own thing, as you should be, and you just get slapped.
Dude, I'm just trying to get ice cream. These guys trying to end my life. David died doing what he loved.
Airbag. Just kapow!
Unconscious. That'd be the most embarrassing thing ever. Remember that time David got knocked out in a Dairy Queen drive-thru?
Both of our airbags just smack us.
Dude, I'm so glad there was no damage to the car, though.
I know.
That was wild. Like, I don't... Like, how, bro? How do you not realize that you backed up half the length of a drive-thru?
It was... At first, I looked and thought he missed the window and he's backing up to get his stuff. Because I thought he just pulled forward a little bit too far. Then he kept coming. And I don't want to say it was a long time, but it was like...
It was a solid 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah, it was. And I'm thinking he's going to stop. And then when it realized he's backing up in the drive-thru and he isn't looking. Like, how do you... It's when you pulled in here, you saw it was full. So you can't just be backing up. But then I realized he didn't. Well, like you said, he's like, I didn't know it was in reverse. Just both of them just
like
out of it.
Gone, bro. Like, where's your mind at? Wow.
I'd be disappointed in that man if I was that team boy.
I'd be embarrassed of my father.
He said, I can't really afford this right now, man. This is a rental and my insurance will have me pay the deductible. And, I just couldn't afford that right now. I'm like, who can? No one can afford that. It's a recession.
He's like, man, I really hope this didn't damage the car. Oh, you hope your car's not damaged?
He kept saying that.
Oh my goodness, man.
Well, he kept saying, thank you for hitting the horn, man. Thank you for hitting the horn. So, hey, not all superheroes wear capes, but they might influence you to hop in your car and go get some ice cream at 10 o'clock at night.
Which, right now, 100% of the time is a bad experience for me. Wow. What a way. We were sitting here thinking, dude, what are we going to talk about on this podcast? And then Cameron said, we're going to go make a story.
I literally thought we'll go to Dairy Queen.
Go make a memory.
Get some good Dairy Queen. And also be able to sit down and say, guess what we got right now? We got the Dairy Queen.
Yeah. I mean, we did get our Dairy Queen. And it was good.
It was.
It was good.
Mine's still good. But, boy, oh boy. Why don't you move that off the thing? My wife's going to kill me. She's not here to set up the house. That's Kaysen's spilled bear from his 1-year-old birthday. So, I had an adrenaline high. This is my second wreck this year.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah.
You know that truck that we just got it back?
Mm-hmm.
And the frame, it's an F-350. The frame was bent.
I mean, you got you got smacked, right?
Yeah. The steering column broke off. And I got hit from the back. Steering column broke. All the sensors knocked off the board that, starts the truck. Yeah, it was, the guy said it's amazing. He took it apart and put it back together. He said it's amazing that your son didn't get hurt. But when I got hit, again, I was making a turn. So I was slowing down from 55. Right. I was down to about 20 miles an hour, and I was about to turn. He was going 50, 55, and he saw me last second and went off to the right because I'm here, and he went off to the right, and he hit me he hit me hard, but he hit my left corner. And so I didn't go into the steering wheel. The momentum spun because it spun me out. So I went down into the seat. And I know I got hit hard, but I didn't it wasn't just straight into my back and my head.
Right.
I got hit and went down like this.
Oh, which is good. You probably have some crazy neck issues if you
so
did.
I really didn't feel whipped. I felt sore, but I knew I didn't get hurt.
Right.
Because it was the whole moment was cleared. My hurt, and I felt, and it was just I'm spinning. But I was laying, I had my seatbelt on, but I was laying. That was the most pain, was the seatbelt across my chest. But I was leaning into the seat because it's a bench seat.
Right.
Which really, not that I would have got killed, but it definitely was.
Here
was the truck. I pulled it up the other day. I was just looking at it. Their truck.
My older brother got into a.
That was his truck.
Yeah.
He hit me hard.
My older brother got into a car accident, and the seatbelt broke his collarbone.
Oof.
Yeah.
Clavicle. Your clavicle.
Ooh.
Sorry, guys. I know that.
And then we all got ice cream.
Whatever this is touching the mic, we got to not do that.
Oh, did I do it again?
It just sounds like. Yeah, we need to get stands.
Yeah.
You'd think we'd done that by now.
Or those clamp things. Yeah. What a night. But, before all of that,
we were talking about VBS.
David
preached and 3 got saved. Of course, the devil would try to get you out of the race.
Yep. It's just 3 get saved. You're like, let's go celebrate with some ice cream.
Yeah,
and
we
the
don't
devil
go
said,
out,
I'm gonna get you.
No alcohol, no partying, no club. We're just trying to destroy our temple another way.
Yeah, we're
Dustin. Sorry, Dustin's still on the podcast. He was just.
I realized we never addressed the fact that Dustin wasn't here last week.
I know.
I realized that, I think, on the way home.
I know. I thought the same thing. What was he doing last week? Oh, he was in Arizona.
He was in Arizona, yeah.
Yeah, for his cousin's wedding. Sorry. I thought the same thing.
Just but he's also not here tonight. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I know we have VBS. We kicked VBS off. The theme this year is Wild Live, which is animals filming movies, I guess. like I guess maybe like an Animal Planet type thing. I'm not entirely sure. I don't pay a whole lot of attention.
A lot of animals do that on Animal Planet.
Yeah.
You see them walking around with cameras.
Yep.
It's a little intrusive, but they gotta do what they gotta do.
Yeah,
they have an artistic side of them.
And we need to respect that.
Yeah. All inclusive.
Yeah, I do I do skits. Me and this guy Eddie, we do skits for like all the kids. And yesterday at church, our pastor was just like, I don't know if I think it was our pastor. He's like, I want you to do a skit for VBS.
Yesterday?
Yeah. So we had
to write it, or was it given to you?
We had to figure it out. We had 2 congregational songs to figure out a skit.
What?
Yeah. They were like, hey, do a skit. I was like, oh.
What kind of
So we wung it.
tonight you had to
No, this was yesterday.
But you had to do a promotional skit yesterday.
Yeah, promotional skit yesterday.
Did you have an idea? Did he say, I need you to do a skit like this to get this point?
No, he was like, I just want you to do like, cause like I was going to make the announcement of like, hey, VBS is coming up. We're starting at 6. Bus is going to be running. Register your kids. Get in. Da 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 da. And he was just like,
yesterday morning.
Yeah, and he was like, hey, get Eddie. We'll do the skit. We'll have like a skit for like the promotional thing to advertise for kids to register.
This is Sunday morning.
Yep.
Before the songs are being sung.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Easter?
Pastor.
That sounds right. I was about to say.
Yeah, it sounds right. Sounds right.
Why would Mike Easter?
Yeah.
Like,
he knows
better than that.
No,
dude, let's stop. Let's stop here. This is insane. Your pastor told you Sunday morning, pulled you out.
Well, so he told Eddie, the guy who does it with me. I guess he told him Saturday night. Mm-hmm. Eddie told me Sunday morning when we
Did Eddie have a basis of what the skit was?
He had a kind of like an idea of like his gimmick of when he was gonna come in, and like Eddie plays a big character, right? That's like goofy every year. It's a different character.
Right.
I play the straight man, which is like
oh
yeah,
the straight man.
Yep.
You heard what you heard.
So, come at me, Eddie. No, I play the straight man. Like he's the goofy guy making all the jokes, and I'm the guy who's just like, sarcastic, who doesn't like lean into the humor or anything like that. Because like if he does something obnoxious and then I just like straight face it, like what, it makes it funnier. Right. So that's how we do it every single year. So he figured out what like his gimmick was going to be coming in. But we didn't have any lines or anything like that. So we went downstairs during the first congregational song. They start the second congregational song and he's like, yeah, dude, here's my gimmick. This is where we're just going to have to wing it. So I go, all right, well, we can do that.
If anyone can wing it, you can. But my shock is to find out Sunday morning.
We're in it, bro. We're deep. As long as I know what point A is and what point B is, if I know where we're supposed to end, I can steer the ship.
Oh yeah, I get that.
So he gets in there and I make a joke. The whole church laughs. And I was like, oh, this is it. This is the joke for the skit. He walks in, like he looks like a wildlife like preserver guy, right? And he's got like this video camera and he's talking like he comes walking in and he's like got the camera and everybody's facing the congregation like, oh, look at him, da 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 da. And he gets up to the front and I'm like, dude, who are you, man? We're trying to have a church service here. I'm going through announcements. What are you doing? And he's like, my name's Percy Pixelton or something like that. And then he pans over with the camera and he zooms in on Pastor's face and he goes, oh, I found the Father. Well, first he walks in and he's looking at other people and then he looks up at me because I'm standing behind the pulpit and he goes, I think I found the Alpha. And I go, you did. And then he goes, look at him. He's just above everybody. I was like, I am. And then so I was like leaning into it. And then he comes up and he puts the camera, he puts in Pastor's face. He's like, I found the Father. And I go, no, we're not that kind of church. And then everybody laughs. And I was like, dude, I think that might be the joke. So then he starts going through and he's saying goofy stuff about how he saw the sign for wildlife, so he was coming in to film a documentary.
Was anything decorated yet?
The baptismal, we made the baptismal look like an aquarium, like when you walk into the aquarium with like the glass and the fish are going, and then we put these things over the lights in the auditorium, so when you look up, it like you see like the shadows of the fish swimming. Yeah. So he's like, I came in to film for a documentary, wildlife, da 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 da, and then he starts doing like these like sign language things, like he's like doing like all this weird stuff, and I'm like trying to figure out where we're gonna go from here in the skit, and he's like doing this weird stuff. He's getting jittery. He's like doing weird movements to make the kids laugh or whatever, while I try to figure out what the next step is in the skit. And I go, hey man, you're dancing now. We're not that kind of church either, right? Everybody starts laughing. So then I'm like, well, Percy, are you going to come to VBS throughout the week? And he's like, yeah, I'll be here. This sounds great. We're going to learn about Jesus. And he's like, yeah, dude, I'm in. The bus kids are in it. And I go, he's like, can I bring my camera? And I go, yeah, but don't record the kids because we're not that kind of church either. Dude, like, it's just like, and everybody's rolling and laughing, and then he walks off, and like we have a running gag every year about him falling off the stage, and so he falls off the stage. The kids laugh. I'm like, hey, we're having UBS every night this week, starting at 6. Get registered, the whole 9. And it went pretty well. So we do like a skit every single night. Obviously, you guys do too. And
does Mike House do anything?
He drives a bus, and I think he teaches one of the.
Me and him used to do.
He's a good skit guy.
We used to do so many skits.
Yeah.
He was always the goofy guy.
He gets all the kids wound up before the skit starts. So like when the buses are coming in and the kids are getting their name tags and they come in, they sit down, he's like doing the like hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Right. He gets all the kids like
he was
wound up. So
really funny. But that sounds awesome. I don't know that only Faith Baptist, dude.
Bro, when I tell you that's not even the worst thing that's ever happened.
Hey, let's have a skit in the morning.
Do you want to hear the worst? Do you want to hear the worst thing the pastor's ever done to me on a Sunday morning?
Yes. Backed into you to drive through.
No, he has not done that. So when we did the skits, it used to be Eddie would have this big character where he would like be goofy or whatever, he'd be in a costume or whatever, and I would sneak around to the baptismal pool, baptistry, and we had a black curtain, and I was a puppet.
A black puppet?
No, it was like a black curtain, and then I'd be like a different animal. Like every year, I was like a monkey or a bird or whatever, a moose, and. The puppet animal would have something to do with the theme. Well, one year it was like a jungle theme, and I was like a toucan.
Mm-hmm.
And
my head hurts taking that off.
Pastor, he comes over and he's like, "Hey, do you guys have a skit?" And I was like,
"Yeah, I carry one around."
Yeah, right. I was like, he didn't spring this one on us. Like we were like, okay, like we could come up with something for promotional skit or whatever. So I walk around during the congregational singing. I walk downstairs. I get the toucan puppet. I sneak in the baptistry. Josh is doing announcements or whatever. I poke the little toucan bird up. Boom. Right. The kids see it. They're like, oh, what is that? I'm like, being goofy or whatever with the toucan. Eddie comes in. Me and Eddie do the skit with the toucan. Ha 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 ha. Eddie walks off, and then Pastor goes, I forget what the name of the bird was, like what my character's name was. But he goes, hey, why don't you open the service in prayer? And I literally went, what? I dropped the voice and everything. I just went, what? And he goes, yeah. Open up the service in prayer. So David, as in whatever weird voice I had, yeah. Being a toucan bird puppet, and I'm doing this one. I'm like, Lord, please be with the service. Da, 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 da. And I'm literally like, I'm like praying over the service as a bird to make my pastor happy. And I was just like, I'd never want to do that ever again.
It's just awkward because you're supposed to be serious and actually talking to the Lord.
Yes. The first year they were like, you don't have to use a puppet if you don't want to. I was like, okay. And I was like, I'm not doing the puppet. And I have not done a puppet
Burn
since.
it.
I was like, they still send puppets with the theme so that I could use the puppet for the skit. And I just go, no, I'm not doing that no more. Wow. Do you know what happened last time I was a puppet?
You had to, you'll try to preach next time.
Bro.
The Bible says.
Bro, that was the weirdest thing I think I've ever had to do in a church service was pray as a puppet in a voice.
Yeah, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
That is weird. I'm trying to think of something I don't have anything like that.
You shouldn't. I'm glad that you don't.
Ooh, that's tough. That's
yeah.
good though. Sounds like in the 3 saves night you preached.
Yeah. I preached on like having a testimony, like a good name is rather to be chosen. Proverbs 22:1. Preached on that. We had, like I said, this year we're doing the teen part of VBS like slightly different, where we've been talking about doing it for a couple of years, but we just never really implemented it before this year, where our teenagers throughout the summer have like a lot going on. So they do, like, we have our youth rally kind of like kicks off the summer. Then we have kiddie camp, and then we have teen camp, and like the kids like,
I've always thought kiddie camp was a cool thing that you guys did.
Yeah, so we go through all that stuff, and like the kids get like a lot of help. So then right after teen camp is VBS, and then right after VBS is August Revival. So we'd always kind of played around with the idea of like, we do all this stuff for the kids. We thought it would be cool if the youth group, like the teen class, got involved in something so they know what it's like to kind of work in the ministry in the church, within the church. So we were like, instead of having a teen class, we'll have the youth group work the classes at VBS, and then like sit down with the teachers and learn how to teach a class to kids. And then if kids have questions about salvation, learn how to go about that kind of stuff, and like kind of watch how the adults do it and glean from that. So we were going to do that this year, but then we ran into the problem of every year we have bus kids come in, and they get, like, every year we have kids get saved. So it's like, well, we can't just like tell these teenagers they can't come when like we've seen fruit from this every year. Yeah. So we kind of split it in half. Like most of our teens are helping with VBS this year to learn how to instead of like go to church and just get because we're doing so much for kids, go to church and learn how to give and work in something. So, but then we also have some of the kids stay in the class to kind of be like leadership to the kids who it's their first time, they don't really know anybody, and then a bunch of bus kids as well. So yeah, we got in there, we got in, preached a lot of faces that I didn't know or recognize at all.
So you do with the teens that you preach to, they were all in your class. Yeah. But the general kids, the kids who aren't teens, they do the skit and then they go to their classes. Or do you preach to all those the same and then they go to classes? No,
so when I do the skit's at the very beginning. That's when all the kids sign in, and they're all sitting in the auditorium. We do the skit, and then all of the age groups break off into their classes. And then when all the younger kids leave the auditorium to go to their classes, the teens come to the front of the auditorium, and then we have like a kind of like a church service thing. Because like the teens don't particularly care for the arts and crafts or.
Do you guys do for the kids? You give them an option for arts and crafts. I say this because we have our VBS and we do it a certain way, so I'm just
right. Yeah, they have in the gym we set up like tents, and every night they have like a specific craft in mind, and they like get everything set up. So like when the kids come in, they sit down at the tables, like the ladies who are doing the crafts over there, like, this is what the end goal is. This is how you do it. This is what we're going to do. If you have any questions, we'll help you out. So they like kind of do that, and we keep it rotated. So like, one age group will start with crafts, and another age group will start with snacks, and then another age group will start with like the class period stuff, and then after a certain amount of time, like when they kind of like rotate. So like the crafts kids will go to the snacks and they'll eat their snacks while the class kids go to the crafts table, and they just we kind of rotate it that way. But the teenagers, we figured out pretty early on, like they didn't, like they're fine with the snacks and like we'll play little games and stuff like that, but they don't particularly care for the arts and crafts or decorating the rooms and stuff like that. So we kind of separate them, and the teens just kind of do their own thing while all the kids are going around.
Yeah, that's good. We I had another question, but I forgot what I was going to say. I read a text from my wife and I forgot.
Here's a tip. Know what time it ends. So I told Cameron this already. For whatever reason, I've been doing VBS for years. For whatever reason, I was like, VBS ends at 8. And I didn't question that thought in my head at all. So like the kids had snacks, the teens had snacks, and they were playing a game while I was doing skit stuff. And we do a competition between the boys and the girls. We have like a prize at the end of the week. We also play a game called Egg Roulette on Friday night, where I get a dozen eggs and I hard boil 6 of them, and then I put them in a fridge and I like rearrange them so nobody knows which ones are hard boiled and which ones are not. And then
I remember this.
Yeah, and then we have kids smash eggs on their foreheads. We do it. It's like a thing. We do it every single year Friday night. So listen, if Angel keeps coming, she's in. On Friday, you have no choice. You have to play this game. So we do that.
Angel's a girl from our church whose aunt goes to their church and brought her tonight. So he's saying
if she keeps coming, she's in. She's in 100%. She doesn't know that we do this every year because this is her first year ever coming. So, but I thought it ended at 8. So we go through the games. We go through.
Does it start at 6?
Starts at 6. It ends at 8:30. So we went through the games. The teens had their snacks, games. We brought them over to the auditorium. We did like sword drills, the whole 9. And then we were like, all right, we're going to move away from the game stuff. It was fine. If you have to go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. We're going to start like a church service now. So we sing a couple songs, right? Like a couple congregationals, just so like the kids can like calm down because they're all amped up from trying to win games and stuff. And so we sing a couple songs. They calm down. I'm like, all right, grab your Bible. We're gonna jump in and go because I'm thinking we end at 8. I preach 35 minutes, right? Preach 35 minutes. Then we have the invitation. 3 kids were like, we want to get saved. So I'm keeping it quiet, so that these kids can be dealt with. It gets done, and I go, all right. And I look up at the clock, and the clock says that it's 7:58. And I go, all right, I think we're done now, right? And then somebody's like, hey, no, dude, we're done at 8:30. And I was like, so I told the teens like straight up, I was like, hey, listen, I thought we were done at 8. So I was aiming to be done at 8. And if we were done at 8, I did a very good job at that. However, it's been brought to my attention that we get done at 8:30.
I got to go record a podcast, guys. So
yeah, I was like, and I don't know if you guys know anything about church services, but you can't just filibuster. You can't just like talk nonsense for 30 minutes to fill time. You could. Some people do, yes, for sure. Yeah. So I was just like, we'll just say we're done. I was like, if you guys just stay here, just don't wander around, don't disrupt all the other classes, just kind of hang out for like 20 minutes, and then like the buses are going to fire up and you guys can go get on the buses and stuff. But yeah, I blew that one. That's for sure.
No, you didn't blow it. You did a good job. You still have 35 minutes. That's a lot of time to preach for bus teens. Yeah. We went about 35 minutes because, well, I started early. I say 35 minutes. It's probably shorter than that because I
I started early because I wanted to do two things. One, I wanted to leave room for an invitation because I knew I was preaching the gospel. So I wanted to leave room for an invitation for people to get saved. And then I always give the teens about 5 minutes to clean up the auditorium before we leave. Like bottles of water, anything like that. Like, hey, pick it up, throw it away. So it might have been a little shorter than 35 minutes, but I was aiming for 8. And I hit 8.
It's awesome.
And then they were like, hey, man. It was a little premature. Blew it.
No, that's good. We, so as long as I can remember, we came up with our own themes. And the last probably 8 years, I've come up with the theme and the skits and whatever. And then everyone, like, I don't do any decorating. But we'll tear the church apart and make it like last year we had a forest. The year before it was Star Wars.
I remember the one year you had the superhero things and you had like the skyline.
It was Avengers or something like that.
It was pretty cool.
We did Clash of Clans one year. We did Star Wars. We did Call of Duty. We did G.I. Joe, G.I. Jesus. That's the shirt we made.
Right.
Whatever. But this year we're doing the Olympics. And before it went all hail Satan,
So which one of you guys is the Smurf guy in the skit this year?
Smurfy guy. That's what TJ is gonna do. The guy just looks like that Smurf guy who was on the Olympics opening ceremony. Looks like he's drowning in student loan debt, doesn't he?
100%. 100%.
I'm sorry, TJ. Nah, that's not. For those of you who don't know, go back to TJ Cheesem episode, and you'll catch the joke. No, but probably 5 years ago, I asked Dad, I was like, Dad, real quick, can I take him an offering before VBS? I want to raise $1,000 to buy prizes. And he's like, yeah, sure. So for about 5 years, we've taken up an offering, and we raise, $1,000, and I buy AirPods. Like last year, we bought you
guys are really big on prizes.
Nintendo Switch.
You do it for a youth rally too.
We don't do these.
No, you don't do these.
We do cereal and gift cards.
Listen, I'll be honest with you. I'd probably enjoy cereal a lot more than AirPods.
We have Beats, AirPods. We got a hoverboard. We got a Switch. We got...
You also do gift cards at your youth rally. Because I won dodgeball one year and you were like, hey, which one of these coffee places do you want? And I was like, I don't even drink coffee. Just give it to someone else.
Youth rally this year, we're doing trophies, actual trophies.
Oh, for real?
I'm not letting Mr. What's-His-name outdo me. Yeah, so we're actually doing trophies.
Yeah, what Mr. What's-His-name?
The shooty Miyagi guy, right? Mr. Miyagi.
Oh, yeah.
Remember he made
he made trophies?
I still have my trophy for the number one in my church van. It's sitting in the center console.
And it's so everybody can see it.
And look, I'm number one. Look, stick on. It's literally a trophy that he got from a thrift store, and he printed out on his home printer and put tape on the back of the thing. It said first place shooting competition for adult.
Hey, don't hate.
He made like 12 trophies.
Well, I know that one kid came in with like a massive trophy. It was like as big as him.
Yeah, it was like second place.
Yeah. Huh. That's what made me want a trophy.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I want this big trophy.
Yeah. All right, we're way off topic.
That's true.
We'll get to that. But so we get a lot of prizes, and night one, kids come in and we say, hey, look, if you learn, we have a sheet of verses. If you learn all your verses, you get a ticket, 5 tickets to put in the raffle. Every time you show up, you get a raffle. If you bring a guest, a visitor, you get a raffle. Stuff, to put towards whatever you want.
Right.
And so then the kids come back and they want to we have footballs, basketballs, all kinds of the normal stuff that are easy to get. And then we have the big ones as the week gets close. Like, you have to be there to win these prizes. Last year, a girl won like the Switch, the AirPods, the hoverboard, because she brought so many kids.
She won everything?
She brought like 9 kids one night. And she had all her tickets in all these things. She won so many things.
That's crazy.
But what I found is a good plan. Like, I made 20 signs, huge signs, VBS, Heritage Bible Baptist Church, call or text. And I put them in Harrington, Bridgeville, and Greenwood. Last year, dude, we probably had 20 kids get drove in because of the yard signs. And I put them at like intersections,
Right.
in developments. Like, so I already put them out in Bridgeville. And then Wednesday, instead of youth group, we're going to canvass the community that we have signs out for, the teens.
Okay.
So we're going to go hit every apartment complex, trailer park where we put them, community, because we put them in all kinds of communities, and we're going to go hit all those. And Saturday we're doing outreach again.
Yeah, we just hit the Peach Festival on Saturday.
Yeah, that's great. I wanted to go to that, but
I got a frozen lemonade for the first time. It changed my life.
yeah, you didn't get rear-ended too either, or rear-fronted.
Nope.
Front-ended.
Nope. Didn't happen.
Front-ended. Yeah, but those signs are really cool. They're real and they're huge, and you can see everything.
And they're probably like cheap too,
I
right?
think it's a couple $100.
Yeah.
They're not. I mean, they're nice signs. They're big, but they don't blow away. They're pretty solid. So that's a good thing. What we have our vans, but then we'll use my car and our family transit, and we'll use all kinds of stuff to pick up, because we have a bus, but we just don't run it. But it's fun. But ours is, we'll have a lot of teens. Our teens from the church have always helped. Mm-hmm. But we don't have individual classes. So I preach, and it will be all the kids from 5 to teens. So we come in, we sing songs, a prize bucket.
You guys do this little light of mine thing that you do at camp?
We do all kinds of stuff like that.
That's like, I'm not like just saying this to like hype you up. That is one of the most, I would say, useful things to like get a room full of kids on the same page. Right. And like the way that you and Meredith and your mom do it, like it's such a well-oiled machine between the three of you. Like I've like just from teen camp, I see you simultaneously teach 300 kids a song while singing it, and then switching to another song without telling anybody you're switching. And it just
do with the piano player and the song leader knowing, like, mom being able to.
That's what I mean. The three of you have such
change the key, and then God's not dead.
You guys have it down to like an exact science. And I just every time you do it, I just go, I'm like, bro, that is like pinpoint. Yep. That's good.
It's easy, but it's easy for me because it's just been so many years of doing it. But yeah, we'll do this little light. We'll do God's Not Dead. This little light of mine, God's Not Dead. Raise the key. But if someone doesn't know that, it's like Brother Charlie at the summit with his piano player. Mm-hmm. It's like that last night when we were just doing those songs. He's just like, look, and
right.
It's just being able to, but whatever. So we'll do those. We'll do a couple.
Our piano player, I look over at him and I make signals, but he doesn't pick any of it up.
Hey.
I'm like.
Jesse, his piano player is blind. Anyways, we'll do all kinds of stuff. And we usually do it's really fun singing. So we'll do this. So I'm actually, we do, it's like so exhausting, but they'll come in. I'll try to get them fired up. Someone else will try and get them fired up, but then we do our singing. We'll do competition between girls and boys singing. Let's hear it loud, girls, boys. And that's always fun. And then we'll give away prize bucket, which is, if you're the first time visitor, come on, we play a song and they line up and they come up and grab, someone's holding the prize bucket and they have to reach in and grab something real quick.
Right.
Then we do a skip and then I preach. It works really well for us, keeping everyone together. Mm-hmm. 'Cause it's little kids and up to teens and adults.
Right.
But you have to, this. You could preach to 5-year-olds and to 15-year-olds. Mm-hmm. But you have to really be basic, but also like not super, super boring.
Right.
So I've done it for a long time because I've been in a small church my whole life. And so when I've ever taught, it's always been
to
you have little kids,
a bunch of You
have a group class because you can only have one class. Not now, we have more classes, but for years, it's like, I will say God will develop your gifts in a way, because I don't know how many times my Sunday school class was, all right, you just have the boys, Cam, and the girls have the girls. And I've got 6, 7, 8-year-old boys and 18-year-old boys.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you want to give them a class, you have to figure out how to do it. So I do think it's a gift to be able to preach to little kids and teens.
Like, at the same time, for sure.
And it works pretty good for us. Now, at some point we might, and it'll be probably, I mean, I've 80 to 100 kids in there, in teens and kids or whatever. But it works pretty good. So
a lot of it probably boils down also to the fact that you are specifically are involved to some degree with all of those kids, no matter what their age is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It would be hard for someone who's, again, I'm up there at the beginning, and I'm going to be a part of the skit. I'm like going to be like the reporter, and not the reporter, but I'm going to be there. Like all the other guys are doing the skit. I'm not in the skit. I used to have to do the skits.
Yeah.
And Dad would preach. I don't do the skits anymore. Everyone else doing the skits, which is great. But I'm like there saying, like, with the mic, I'm going to be involved. Like, so what's your name? What are you doing? And I'm going to be pulling out what I want, kind of directing where I want this to go. But the guys are going to take care of that, and it's going to be good. But then what we do, and usually we have, like you said, we always have kids saved. I don't know if we've ever had a year without kids getting saved. So that's a huge blessing. Praise God. But what we do is after the service, we separate. We give the kids an option. If you want to do craft, you're going to go with this lady, this lady, this lady, boy or girl if you want to do craft. It's just a big room set up with the craft of the night. And then we have teens. If you want to do a craft, you can do that. But if you want to do kickball, dodgeball, or flag football, you go with TJ.
Right, okay.
And then 13 and under, if you want to play a sport, you go with Dustin and Tyler, and they're going to play your guys' sport. And so you have craft or sport. And that works really good because we set up the gym. We have our softball field. Now we have a football field. So it's 3 different stations of 3 different sports.
How long do you guys usually go?
It's 6 to 8:30.
6 to 8:30?
Yeah. I mean, it's technically 8, but we're on the buses at 8:30.
Apparently so are we.
Yeah. But that, it works. It works good that way for us. I have always been like, if we're going to have VBS, I want to be able to, like, let's give them like something to work for. Like, oh, we can get AirPods and we get to play sports.
Right.
That's how I've always tried to do it.
I remember when I was a kid, we used to do these like Sunday school campaigns that was like similar.
Yeah.
I don't think it was as well fleshed out as the way you guys have it. Like ours was pretty much just like if you bring friends and bring your Bible, you get points, and whoever brings the most people gets like a bike or something like that at the end of the couple weeks.
Right.
So it wasn't like as there weren't like tier levels to like getting tickets and stuff like that.
To me, it's some people for VBS. I really don't have a problem at all with like enticing kids to come to church, to come to the VBS.
I don't really have a problem with that at all. Period.
Yeah, like for
even if it's not for VBS, like I feel like just a regular church service. If you can have something like we give our kids food. Like we're like, hey, we got Wawa sandwiches, donuts,
every week we have
chicken nuggets. Yeah, like I feel like that's perfectly fine.
And I mean, I don't know. I don't think I've ever had a kid come and get saved and like be led astray because of, like, if they come and they don't. I mean, how many times do kids come and you never see them again, anyways?
Right.
You know what I mean? You're not. But
I feel like, so I guess if I were to put it into like a stance or whatever, I think it's fine to, I guess entice is the right word, to motivate kids to come without, as long as you're not compromising anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's definitely a level of
now,
like.
If you're doing it on a regular Sunday to adults, that's like, okay, we're giving away a grill and we're giving away a Harley Davidson. It's like, oh, well.
No. If a Harley Davidson's being given, it's from me to myself. But you want one, go get one. I don't. No, I feel like, yeah, as far as kids go, because that's, in all honesty, like, even like you said, even if it's like a kid who comes and he's only there for 2 months and then you never see him again, he's always going to remember that time that like he came to church and were like competed to win a bike or a Nintendo Switch or something like that. Like that's why like we do those basketball tournaments and we have these like, I mean, they're cheap little trophies that we give out. Awesome, but like if I give a trophy to like a kid who comes to the tournament, hears the gospel, I give him a trophy. He goes home, puts it on the shelf in his bedroom. He's always going to remember that time he went to that church and played basketball and won.
For sure.
Like, even if I never see him again, he's always going to know that Faith Baptist Church was there at some point. So I feel like that stuff is, like I said, it's one of those things where, like, you have to come up with ideas for kids, but if, like, some people, I don't know if they just run out of ideas or they just have bad, and then you end up compromising on a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's at all compromising to give stuff away at the. I mean, when you're getting the gospel out to those kids, again, you're not doing it every Sunday to get these kids in or to get these people in. Like, no, I mean, it's using tools, and again, we take up an offering and people give towards it, and I'm able to buy some prizes. Does it build for you though? On like the first night is a crowd, but then usually Tuesday night it's like way bigger.
Yeah.
And then Thursday, Friday. We stop on Thursday. Yeah, we stop on Thursday.
We stop Friday. It builds. So typically, what it builds and then it falls off. So it'll Monday will be like whatever. Tuesday there'll be like a lot more kids. Wednesday there'll be like a lot of kids. It's roughly about the same as much as Tuesday. And then Thursday will be like a fair amount of kids, and then Friday it's like back to like the same crowd as Monday.
Yeah.
And
so when you do it the way of like, because the way we do it with Monday, they come look, if you bring your friends, you're gonna get 5 tickets to put in for this basketball or this Nintendo Switch, and they're like, and then Tuesday it's like so many kids because they bring their friends
for sure,
and then those friends who got brought. Now we're like, ooh, I'm gonna come back, and they bring.
You got like a Baptist Ponzi scheme going on.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, so Friday night we're giving away the AirPods, the fire.
It's a pyramid scheme, bro. You got a Baptist pyramid scheme going on.
Yeah, Friday night we're like, I come riding on the hoverboard.
They're all like, Karen. You got like the ear mic.
Yeah. Oh, I can't see a use for that though. To be hands free.
The ear mic?
Yeah, to participate in all like the hand.
Dude,
hand songs.
I'm actually. We have.
I would feel like a joke preaching with it.
We have one. We used to have 1 or 2. The first time
Samson Ryman does like to put one of those on.
The first time, well, Jesse was the one who bought them.
Yeah.
And then the first time I used one, I was like, bro, this is kind of like, I didn't know how to set it up. It just like felt weird. Not to mention I'm left-handed. So every time I would grab one for like either leading songs or whatever, it was always set to be on the right ear. But since I'm left, I always put all my speakers and headphones and stuff on my left ear. So I always struggled just getting one set up on my head anyway.
Right.
But after I wore one like 2 or 3 times, I was like, okay, it's just the same thing as the tie mic. I just forget it's there. I put it on and I'm like, whatever. And then I move on. But
I usually, so I'll have we'll get our t-shirts made. Like here's our, let's see. We'll do t-shirts, and so I have to wear the lapel on a t-shirt, which is always not
easy.
That is suboptimal.
Yeah,
I'm
for
jumping
sure.
around and doing all this stuff, and it's like, okay, come on, man, what are you doing? Oh no, dang it! But no, it's VBS is great. It's
VBS is one of those things that like
these are our shirts this year.
At some point in life, I dread it.
I know.
And I'm like, I don't want to do VBS, but I can't back out because we always see fruit. And then we do it, and I go, all right, it wasn't that bad. And then the next year rolls around, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. And then,
no, I'm with you.
Oh, those look nice. I mean, it doesn't look as cool as the thumbnail that I did last week.
The thumbnail was really good.
But no, that looks cool. You guys do good with your shirts, that's
Kenzie
for sure.
does it all.
Who does? Kenzie.
She's a graphics designer. These were a couple of different designs. I don't really like the big circle.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that one.
So we didn't go with that.
Yeah.
But we have like a whole bunch of different. I was like, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. But
yeah, no, that's a pretty cool.
That dog just played the piano.
That was wild.
Yeah, it was crazy. So VBS, you guys are in the middle of it. We will be in the middle of it. Yeah. So I think we end this episode right here.
That's fine.
BBS and car wrecks.
VBS and Dairy Queen Adventures.
Yeah, and then we'll press play on another one.
That's fine.
Or not.
Are you gonna give the gospel, or are you just gonna?
You go ahead. You preach tonight. You're filled with the Spirit.
See, I did it last time.
Oh, you did? All right. Let me figure out what I need to preach. No, I'm joking. Let's hear this though. My headphones off, so I can't hear the music. I'm all
The invitational music.
God's not dead. No.
You look like a radio DJ.
All right, listen up. We haven't had one person email in saying they got saved. So if you've gotten saved because of the result of this podcast, we need to hear from you.
Please.
We need to hear if it's worth giving the gospel. The cool thing is as long as the gospel will always be out there on this podcast because we'll be there forever.
Yeah.
Which is scary because our nonsense will be out there. But if you haven't heard the gospel, you don't know what the gospel is. The gospel means good news, and the good news is that Jesus Christ came down and died on the cross for your sins. He was perfect. He lived a sinless life. He's the only one who could die and pay for your sins. And he willingly laid down his life. The Bible said he died, he was buried, and he rose again the third day. And the Bible says, whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. It's the questions to all, the answer to all your questions in life. I'm serious. There's nothing better than Jesus. If you have any more questions, you can definitely email in at calmdownitsfine@gmail.com. Let us know if you listen to the podcast. Let us know you're out there. Hit us up. Send us an email. Until next time, calm down. It's fine. It's fine.
Hey there, comrades. Thanks for tuning in to the Calm Down It's Fine podcast. If you liked what you heard this episode, be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and share that link. We want to get the episode out. We want as many new listeners as we can, and we want the old listeners to keep coming back. So be sure to like and subscribe. Find us on social media at CDIF Podcast. If you want to donate to the show, you can find the link to do so in the description below. So thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.